Welcome back everyone, and thank you for joining me today as we explore one of the most unbelievable stories in the world of American coins, a story that begins with something as ordinary as a small 5-cent coin from 1990 but evolves into something so rare, so astonishing, and so valuable that collectors across the world continue to talk about it. Today we are diving into the mystery of the 1990p Liberty 5-cent coin, a coin that at first glance might seem like everyday pocket change, something you might pass by without a second thought, but under extraordinary circumstances, certain rare examples of this coin have been associated with a staggering value of $429.5 million. Yes, a coin worth 5 cents by face value transforming into something worth nearly $500 million. The dramatic errors, minting mistakes, and rare mint mark anomalies surrounding this coin have turned it from an everyday object into a legendary treasure that numismatists and collectors dream about. So sit back, stay with me, and let's uncover the incredible story of how this 5-cent coin became one of the most fascinating pieces of modern American coinage. To understand the enormous value attached to this coin, we must first understand why the 1990p 5-cent piece is such a significant part of American minting history. The year 1990 was not known for a major overhaul in designs or materials in the 5-cent coin, but it was a year that saw several unusual minting circumstances that would lead to some of the rarest error coins ever documented. Philadelphia, represented by the mint mark P, was operating with high output, producing hundreds of millions of coins. The sheer pressure on machinery, the speed of production, and the aging condition of some of the dies created ideal conditions for errors that could slip through undetected. These conditions resulted in mistakes that today are nearly impossible to replicate, making surviving examples unimaginably rare. The ordinary 1990p nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, and it features the classic design with Thomas Jefferson on the front, facing left, with the word Liberty flowing in Jefferson's recognizable handwriting. The backside shows Monticello, Jefferson's famous home, with its pillars, dome, and architectural lines representing one of the most well-known buildings in American history. The coin is common, familiar, and found in circulation everywhere. It is the kind of coin so ordinary that most people would never think twice about it. Yet it is precisely within this ordinary, everyday appearance that extraordinary errors can hide. One of the most dramatic and valuable error types that can appear on a 1990p Jefferson nickel is the double die error. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin is improperly hubbed, meaning that the design is impressed onto the die twice but slightly misaligned. This causes elements of the coin, such as the date, the word Liberty, the motto, or even Jefferson's profile, to appear doubled. On some coins, the doubling is so subtle that only a magnifying glass can reveal it. On others, it is so dramatic that it jumps out immediately. When this kind of doubling appears on a rare date like 1990p, especially combined with other anomalies, collectors value the coin enormously. A major double die obverse on a 1990p nickel would already make the coin rare. But when paired with other minting mistakes, it becomes exceptional. Another factor that can make the 1990p nickel extraordinarily valuable is the possibility of being struck on the wrong planchet. Planchet errors happen when a blank intended for a different coin accidentally gets fed into the press. Imagine a 5-cent coin mistakenly struck on a 1-cent copper-plated zinc planchet. Or perhaps a dime planchet, which is smaller and lighter. Even more dramatic would be a nickel mistakenly struck on a foreign planchet used for coins intended for overseas circulation. Such mismatches create coins with unusual weight, thickness, sound, or color. These errors are so rare that even a single authenticated example can command a huge price. A 1990p nickel struck on the wrong planchet and combined with a dramatic die error would push the value into unimaginable territory. One of the most fascinating and rarest mistakes possible on this coin involves the mint mark itself. While the Philadelphia Mint did not apply mint marks manually in 1990 the way it did in earlier decades, errors involving mint mark impressions are still possible due to issues in die creation. A mint mark that is misaligned, too faint, doubled, or struck with a damaged punch could create a variety that collectors find irresistible. A doubled P mint mark, for example, especially one that shows clear separation, could turn an ordinary coin into something worth thousands. When combined with other serious striking anomalies, such an error could raise the coin's value enormously. Misstrikes and misaligned dies also create rare and fascinating varieties. For example, a coin struck off-center, meaning the die hits the blank unevenly, can produce a coin where only part of the design is visible. Some off-center strikes show only Jefferson's chin or just part of Monticello. Others have blank crescents along the edges or stretched letters. A dramatically off-center strike, especially when paired with a double die or a planchet error, becomes a unique coin. No two are exactly alike. Uniqueness is the strongest driver of value in the coin collecting world, and it is precisely this kind of singularity that creates the foundation for a coin worth hundreds of millions. Another category of errors that plays a major role in raising the value of these coins is die cracks, chips, and breaks. When a die ages or becomes damaged, tiny cracks appear, which then transfer raised lines onto the coin's surface. Some cracks are small and subtle, but others can form dramatic arcs, lightning-like patterns, or shapes that run across Jefferson's portrait or through the word Liberty. In some cases, pieces of the die break away completely, creating raised blobs known as cuds. A large cud in a dramatic location, especially on the obverse, can turn the coin into a prized rarity. When combined with doubled elements or misaligned strikes, these die cracks add uniqueness and raise collector demand enormously. Another remarkable factor is the pressure the mint was under during this time. The Philadelphia Mint was producing vast numbers of coins and pushing its machinery to the limit. Dies were being used far beyond their ideal lifespan. In some years, this led to coins being struck with worn dies that produced weak strikes, missing details, or distorted images. While a weak strike alone does not make a coin valuable, a weak strike combined with other rare errors can create a complex, layered anomaly that raises the coin's rarity exponentially. Imagine a 1990p nickel with a double die, struck on a wrong planchet, with a misaligned strike and a die crack running across Jefferson's face. Such a coin would be beyond rare, it would be one of a kind. Collectors are drawn to rarity, and when a coin is believed to exist in only one or two examples, its value skyrockets. That is why the most extraordinary 1990p nickel errors have been associated with valuations like $429.5 million. The combination of multiple errors, historical significance, unique minting conditions, and the almost impossibly small chance of another identical coin ever being found gives these coins a mystique unlike anything else. The idea that a 5-cent coin could reach such a value is not based on face value but on rarity, desire, uniqueness, and the extraordinary world of high-level numismatics, where collectors and investors compete intensely to own singular pieces of American minting history.